Hi there, I'm Mel Johnson from the Bestselfology blog, and today's book review is I Know How She Does It by Laura Vanderkam. I got sent this book by a friend who thought I'd really enjoy it, and she was completely correct. I loved the book. It's very easy to read, it's very practical, so it gives you some really good recommendations about what other people have done and how you can carry that out, and that's the sort of book I love. You can go away and really implement some of the ideas that you've learned from the book. So what is the book? Laura Vanderkam talks about the Mosaic Project. Basically, this is her doing time logs with a number of women to analyse how people spend their time. So she has targeted women on two criteria. One is that they earn $100,000 a year or more, and the other is that they have one child living at home under the age of 18. And this is just so she could do some sort of comparison. She says that there's lots of other definitions that she could have used, but this is the one that she decided on. So she asks these women to do time logs in half-an-hour time chunks, which measures how they use their time over a week period. And then the Mosaic Project is the analysis of what she finds. And the findings are really interesting, and like I say, there's some really practical ideas that you can implement. So the book's split into three parts. It talks about work, then it talks about home, and then it talks about self. So the first part, work, one of the most interesting parts around the work is that most people thought that they worked more hours than they did. So when they estimated how much they worked versus when they actually put down in the time logs how many hours they were working, usually the estimation was more, which is just an interesting point. And I think the book very much talked about flexibility and talked about how we can be flexible to be more sensible about our work hours, so how we can work when we're most productive, how we can work around our childcare commitments if you have them, or other commitments, how you can split the day in two and you can start work and then you can do any other commitments that you have, and then you can go back to work later. So some really good ideas about how you can fit work in. Now obviously everyone's not in the situation in their job when they can do that, but where you are, looking for ideas about how to do that more effectively. Really useful. The second section was around home, and this was very much around how you split your work activity and your home activities, and how you schedule enough time to do all of them. And again, very much looking at practical ideas in terms of how you spend more quality time with your children or with your partner, how you fit that around work. One of the things that she explored, which I thought was really useful, is how to make life easier for yourself. So things like how to do outsourcing, how to get stuff delivered rather than going, how to plan ahead so that things are easier. So again, some really good ideas about what to do. The other thing she talks about is 10 secrets of happier parenting, and there's some really good ideas in there around how you can make life easier and how you can be happier with what you're doing. I won't go through them and read the book, it's all in there, but again, some great practical advice. And then lastly, she talks about self, and this is around, there's all these women who've got lots of activities that they need to juggle, but pretty much all of them do still make time for themselves. And it's around, you've got 168 hours in the week, how do you slot some of those hours in to take time for yourself? And again, very interesting to see how other people have done it, but very important that you do that. So it talks very much about sleep time. It was very interesting to see that most people also had a good amount of sleep. Now it doesn't look at the quality of the sleep, but the amount of time that they were in bed was on average 7 or more. So that point is interesting, but also around scheduling time for your own activities. So something around exercise, maybe some pampering, whatever it is that you might want to do, some reading, and again, it's just how you slot that into your 168 hours. So Laura Vanderkam talks about thinking about time in weeks rather than days, and she also explores the advantages of doing it that way, because over a week period things are a lot more balanced. Obviously on a day-to-day basis things might happen and your time might not necessarily be split as you'd like it to be. So really great book, really highly recommend. I Know How She Does It, Laura Vanderkam, definitely recommend to read it. Also, although it is around women and how successful women make the most of their time, actually these things all apply to men as well, so would recommend it to anybody. Thanks very much.